days.
Superstar and that. Jeez. I
You're
can't even talk to
looking
you directly
sick,
no
brother.
more.
This beard
Yeah?
is mad right now.
I know, it's crazy, isn't it? I
You're
want to get rid of
looking
it, but enough.
Nah, bro. Not well. Do your thing. It's your body, innit? But bro, you're looking sick.
No, I've had enough. Where's yours? What's going on? You got the patchy one?
Yeah, but do you know what? Yeah, I'll tell you the truth. I just got bored. So I just
Did you
left.
start growing it?
Yeah, I was growing it for a little while, and then I just got bored. But I just got bored, bro. I just got bored, man. And then I just left the goatee and the mustache, and now I just easier to manage.
Yeah, fair enough. To be fair, today I combed it. This is the first time I combed this beard in months. My male grooming is awful. I'm terrible.
Like that.
Bothered.
It looks sick though. It looks sick though.
Get rid of it. I can't bother.
Killer.
Yeah,
Right, let's get into this.
The lighting.
My God.
Ready? Let's go. Right, we recording.
Yep, recording.
Cool. Okay, right. Lukan online here. Obviously, with this guy right here, man like Che Lingo, what's going on?
How you doing, bro? I'm good, man.
I'm all right. So yeah, so it's been a long time since I've seen or spoken to you.
Facts.
I was thinking today in the show, we never ever got to do an interview before, did we? Or did we?
I don't know. Do you know what? It's been so long since I was doing runs on the stations that you've been at. I don't actually know if we ever did a proper interview. I'm not sure.
I don't think we did.
But here we are. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think we did, you know. Okay, hold on a minute. So someone's internet is really bad. It's either mine or yours, but you're freezing a lot.
Am I?
So I don't know, but okay, right, we'll roll anyway. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. All right. So what's been happening in it? What's been happening in your life and all that? I've not seen you. I've not seen you in about 5 years, maybe 6 years.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. In those last 5-ish years, or if we just talk about the last 3-ish years, obviously, 2017, I started going to Berlin a lot. We ended up doing the colours. That was a big moment for me. Obviously, you know, because you were following me from before that, and championing the rap. You get me? So when I was able to go on colours and do Zuko, that was a brilliant moment for me. And everyone was super happy. Do you know what I mean? With the fact that we were pushing the boat out even more in such a sick way. 2018, we did a lot of stuff with like brands and campaigns. I was like face of Reebok for that year, and we did. I dropped Charisma. We played South by Southwest. I touched Lovebox for the first time that year. On a smaller stage, and it was brilliant, man. It was a brilliant year. And then 2019, we worked with Cartier last year, and I toured for the first time. And then I did my headline show, sold out Jazz Cafe, and that was a brilliant time. Brilliant time. Wow. So yeah, this year we've toured with Ghetts, and released. I've collaborated with him, released Black Ones, and I've signed to Idis Elba, 7 Wallace. And yeah, I've released 3 singles up until now. My block, Black Ones, featuring Ghetts, and the newest one, Spaghetti, from the album to come, called The Worst Generation. And that's my first album. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, we're just pushing.
So when's that coming? Is that coming out this year?
Yeah, September. Is it freezing?
September. Okay. I don't know, Chills. I don't know if you can hear it, but there's a mad lag on this line. I don't know if it's just me or if you can hear it as well. But I don't know if you can. Can you hear it? Because when you're talking,
I'm hearing you live.
Hey, Lukan.
Okay, it's your internet then. What internet you got? Who are you with? You need to change your provider. Go on, Chills. Can you hear him, or is it just me?
Yeah, we're good on this side.
Yeah, we've been good. Remember,
really?
I've done a couple of. We've done about 4 interviews prior to this one, and they've all been fine.
Oh, right. So you're trying to disrespect my broadband? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think it's you.
I think your broadband's trying to disrespect you.
Yeah, for real. I think it is, for real. And I paid too much for it as it is. All right, cool. So yes, so Idis Elba, you touched on it a minute ago. How did you get out? How did that link up come about?
So basically, 2019 we dropped. Sorry, 2018 we dropped Same Energy, and we tore up South by Southwest with that one. And then 2019, it got put in Top Boy Season 3. And then off the back of that and everything that was going on around that time with Sensitive, which was the 2019 EP release, but Same Energy was on the 2018 EP release, Charisma. It got put in Top Boy Season 3, and it kind of the momentum kind of brought me to the attention of a woman called Rachel Prager, and yeah, she's the head of Seven Wallace, which is Idris's label. So she reached out to me just on a DM and just said, "Yo, like I think what you're doing is crazy, and I really want to be involved. I want to know what you're on, rah rah rah." So obviously, I just hit her back and said, "Yo, here's my team. They can tell you everything you need to know, and it's an honor to even be speaking to you." Do you know what I mean? Idris is a massive. I'm a massive fan. Do you know what I mean? He's a massive character and a massive personality in showbiz. You get me? And in the industry. So, and there's a lot of integrity attached to what he does. You get me? So, it's a pleasure. It's a privilege. You get me? So yeah, off the back of all of that, fast forward about 6 months into February of this year, we signed and released My Block. So yeah.
All right. So obviously, you know, like I do a lot of stuff with the unsigned independent artists and the rest of it. So you've come a long way since Hip Hop Nation, performing in those sort of like stages and all the rest of it, way back in the day.
Yeah.
So how have you assembled your team up until signing with Seven Wallace?
Just a bunch of honest and very, very frank but respectful conversations with the people that I've crossed paths with. Do you know what I mean? It was never really about, oh, I need the most popular guy in this field and I need the guy who can get me that in that field, because then essentially I'm managing myself. You know what I mean? It was about just having honest conversations with the individuals that expressed an enthusiasm about being a part of whatever it is they thought I was doing at the time, and versus what I was actually doing, and how those two things match up, because somebody can have a perception of what you're doing, and all of their energy can be garnered from that perception, but that perception might not be the reality, and it's whether they still have that enthusiasm when they realize that might not be the reality. You get me? And they all did. You get me? They never really, anyone on my team now and prior has never had a jaded view of how much work it would take to get me into a position of limelight. You get what I'm saying? So I think given that, it's just been a lot of frank and very honest conversations. You get me? All the way down to like views. You get me? Like all the way down to like travel money and rah 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 back in the day. You know what I mean? Back in the open mic days and all of that kind of stuff, which obviously is where you know me from. So it hasn't really been about assembling the team, more so than it's just been about kind of creating bonds with people, so you understand what parts of your career they can and can't facilitate. You get me? And being able to have those conversations at all points when things are going well and when they're going badly. Do you get me? So, or not so well, let's say. So yeah, I think that's mainly what it is for me. I just trust everyone in my team a lot. You get me? Because we've had the conversations about all the things you don't usually have conversations about. You get me? And we've made a point of having those conversations because of how the industry feels and how it seems and all the ways that people think it goes and rah, rah, rah. Because I didn't know any better myself. I'm just having these conversations. However, I might have even imposed it on those people. You get me? On my team when we first started. And they're like, you know what? Fair enough. Let's just have that. Because they turned out to be very honest, very good, very integral people. They weren't scared of having those conversations. You get me? About money, about understanding, about racial biases, about the differences between hip hop and rap, and understanding that my thing is not going to be as popular as somebody else's thing in the beginning, and rah, 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 rah. You get me? The kind of music I make, the kind of music I'm not trying to make, the kind of way my mind works, etc., and their minds work, etc., etc. You get me? Like, a lot of people don't have those conversations when they're picking managers, or when they're picking labels, or when they're picking A&Rs, or when they're picking producers. You get me? So I have all of them. I make a point of having all of them now, because it's brought me to where I am, innit? You get me? I've just tried to navigate with a lot of integrity, and everyone in my team has that same integrity.
So you can only have those conversations, because I like having these conversations with people like you, because people who are where you started, for example, will look at someone who's now in your position. So when you're having those conversations, it's like you can have these deep conversations later on down the line, but when you're first meeting these people, when you're trying to get to know them, and for example, if you're in front of a label, you can't have deep and meaningfuls with them because you're just not there yet. So you need like, basically the question that I'm asking is, what do you do? Do you go off energy, or do you have a set? What is it that you go off on before you say, you know what, this is a person for me to work that I want to work with?
I think the first thing is the enthusiasm of the person. There's stages to it. You get me? And I think what you said about having conversations because you're not there yet, I think that's the time to have those conversations, because you're not there yet. And you might never get there because other things might fall in front of that. You get me? Especially if you sign and you start working with them and you don't actually have a relationship with the people. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So like I've worked with and around A&Rs that are much less emotionally intelligent to what and who I am as an artist and as a person than people I've met on the street who have heard my songs for the first time the other day. Do you know what I mean? Like, so, and that's no discredit. It's just different perspectives of what is expected of an artist, you know what I mean? And what things you can and can't say, you know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of that comes from the fact that a lot of my acumen towards that, I think, comes from the fact that I did a lot of the work that labels hire people to do myself. Definitely not to the same level that they do it, you get me? But a lot of it is about relationships. A lot of it is about understanding. That's not like who you know so you can slide through here. It's just about understanding that the people that you work with are helping you become who you want to be. You get what I'm saying? So, like, they're going to be in your life for a very long time. You know what I mean? Hopefully. You know what I'm saying? So, not the least you can do, but it's probably within your best interest to learn about that person a little bit and just try and do it in the most natural way possible. You know what I mean? Like, if the energy doesn't vibe with you, but they've got a big following, or they've done things for big artists or whatever, just have a conversation with them about, I don't actually know what I'm getting myself into, so let me know. You know what I mean? Like, what do I need to do? What don't I need to do? I need advice. And then go and take that advice to somebody else who you do know and you trust. You know what I mean? Like, do the rounds, ask the questions. You know what I'm saying? Feel the energy, ask the questions, do the rounds, man.
Honest conversations.
Yeah, man, definitely. Honest conversation is the best way to build your team. Quote me.
Yeah, fair. Okay. Cool. Right. So with everything that's going on, this is what I wanted to ask you about as well. With everything that's going on at the moment, obviously we got the Black Lives Matter marches. Have you been to any of these protests, by the way?
Yeah, I have. I went to a Black Lives Matter protest and march a little while ago, a few weeks back.
Okay, I actually haven't been to one of these protests. But before any of this stuff really kicked off, like obviously this has been going on for a while, but before it kicked off the way that it has now, you released a song. And when I first heard it, I didn't really understand the meaning behind the song, My Block.
Yeah.
And then you went on to speak about something that had happened to your friend.
Yep.
And the fact that is he in a wheelchair now?
No, he's paralyzed. I can't
remember the story now, but is
entirely paralyzed. But
he's paralyzed.
I'll explain it to you. So basically, respectfully, what had happened was, his name is Julian Cole, and I used to work with him in a trainer store in West London when I was working part-time and making music. And this was probably close to the time that we had a more regular relationship. And so basically we used to work together. I showed him the ropes, he came after me, etc., and he became a fan of the music and stuff, and we built a relationship, and we were very cool, very, very cool. And essentially, but obviously we were mostly, and first and foremost, we were workmates, you know what I mean? So he was not, by no means was he my best friend, but he was somebody I respected and somebody I cared for, because he was just a cool guy, you get me? And so in 2013 he goes off to uni, and he's studying sports science, and he's also playing semi-professional football for Watford FC. And he goes to a nightclub that night.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, he goes to a nightclub that night, and the nightclub gets locked off, and feds are called, and bouncers, he's upset because he wants his money back, and bouncers pass him to police, and police arrest him. And after the contact with the police, his neck was broken, and he ended up suffering brain damage. And he spent a lot of time in the back of the police van following the arrest, on the way to the station with those injuries. He'd sustained those injuries before they put him in the van. So he was arrested, and his neck was broken, and he's essentially a victim, not essentially, but yeah, essentially at its core, he's a victim of police brutality. You get me? And I think the system of the way that things were handled after that is what really, other than the shocking fact, is what really set things into motion for a song like My Block. You get me? Like, that situation was very tragic. You get me? But the song might not exist if he got justice, the way that justice should look. The feds are meant to, like, 2000, that happened in 2013. I spoke outside the old American embassy on behalf of his family in 2015. And then 2018, 3 of the police officers that were involved in the arrest were being investigated for lying about their involvement and their conduct on the night. And then CCTV comes out to the public, and it shows that they lied, and they lied intentionally to save themselves. So you perverted the cause of justice after breaking a man's neck.
So you got footage?
Yeah, they got footage. Yeah, footage is online. You can see it. There's CCTV footage of the time, but at the time they were being investigated just for the breaking of his neck and the brutality in itself. There was no footage. Yeah, you get me. There was not public anyway. You get me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think with those things being said, like the treatment after, his family got no compensation and nobody was criminally convicted of any crimes. So just the 3 police officers that got found to be lying after having participated in breaking his neck, like they just got fired from being police officers. But they get to enjoy the sun the same way that we do. Do you know what I mean? But Julian's paralyzed for the rest of his life and he has brain damage. You know what I'm saying? Like and then they had to fight for 5 years just to even see any result, just to find out that the police officers had lied. Do you know what I mean? And now we're in 2020 and nobody's been sent to jail and no money has been paid out to the family. Like his earning potential must have been stupid. Like, so when is he going to see that? You know what I mean? Like when is Bedfordshire police going to pay out for his situation? And when are those more importantly, when are those police officers or ex-police officers now going to be reprimanded in the right way and suffer the consequences for their actions, because they've ruined a man's life? You know what I mean? But you get to live yours. It's not fair.
That's crazy. Is there no so they've been found guilty? Is there no way that a separate I don't want to spend too much time on this subject, but is there no way a separate charge could be filed against them, or a separate lawsuit be filed against them? So one for their actions, and then one simply, now that they've been found guilty and then they're found to have lied, something for the damage done, effectively leaving someone paralyzed. Is it not separate, or is it just a done deal now? There's nothing more they can do.
Put it this way: I know their legal team is still fighting. I can't speak on it too much in terms of their movements, because I'm not part of the legal team. You get me? So I don't want to speak on their behalf. But I'm sure there's many. I'm sure they filed for many different breaches in the law. You know what I mean? And many different breaches of conduct as well. You know what I'm saying? And those can all go to criminal court, and can also go to I think Crown Court or another court that allows for compensation to be paid out to the family. You get me? But as far as I know, those are 2 different things. You know what I'm saying? So I couldn't speak on behalf of them or the family, but what I will say is they are still fighting for justice 7 years after having had a member of their family's neck broken. You get me? By police who lied. Like, they're still fighting for that. That's a no-brainer. Go jail, bro. Go jail.
Yeah. Right. Let's talk to things a little bit more with a bit more sunshine, let's say. Let's talk albums. Albums coming out.
Yeah.
The album coming out September, you said.
Yeah.
So the track My Block, I'm assuming My Block's going to be on there.
Yeah, My Block's the first.
The new track Spaghetti, is that going to be on there?
Yeah. All these songs I'm releasing right now are all songs from the album. So My Block is the first single from the album. Black Ones featuring Ghetts, the second single from the album, and then Spaghetti is now that just came out the other day is the third single from the album.
You just dipped out. I can't hear a word that's been said.
Can you hear me still?
Oh yeah, got you there. Okay, yeah. So you're saying My Block, then
Black Ones, and then Spaghetti.
Oh, Black Ones is going to be on the album as well. Okay, how did you team up with Ghetts out of interest? How did that combination come up?
I did a song with an artist called Reels, who's from.
Did you have a relationship before, or?
Yeah, I did a tune with an artist called Reels.
Oh yeah, 25, yeah.
Called 25. It was a remix, and Reels got me and Ghetts and Giovanni on that, and that's where me and Ghetts had known about me for many years before that, but that's where we first obviously had a song together. You know what I mean? Had a release together. So that song got done, and people loved that one. And then
actually, did he post something on his Instagram? I'm sure he posted something on his Instagram about your verse. How much he loved your verse.
Exactly. So that happened, and then we followed each other. We just started speaking, obviously, naturally, like, oh, your verse was cold, rah, 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 talking about things. And then, we just developed a relationship. And it was cool. Like, and I just sent him, I had Black Ones ready from the year before, actually, funnily enough. And I just sent it to him and said, "Yo, I really want to release this one, but I need somebody like yourself on it. Would you be down?" And he was just like, "Yeah, this is a slapper. I'm super down." We eventually got in the studio, recorded it on. It was actually his session. He invited me to his session to record it.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, and then we just continued to build a relationship, and now that's my dog, and we went on tour this year. So yeah, man, in a good place.
Any other collabs on the album?
Yeah, there's a few. Don't want to talk about them too much. I don't want to ruin it, but yeah, there's a couple.
Ah, boo. Boo. All right, so September, we're looking for a release. What are you doing about this release? Going to be a little release party? You're going to have an event? You're going to have a little celebration? I know it's 2020 and all that, everything's shut down. How are you going to release this album?
Put it this way, I'm open. You get me? I'm open to ideas. We're still working out exactly what we want to do. We've definitely got some plans that are 1000% happening. The album's called The Worst Generation. So right now, I would just say, even with everything going on, just sit tight. I'm not stopping. Video for Spaghetti comes out quite soon as well. So yeah, we're in a good place, man. We're in a good place.
Cool. Actually, before I wrap up as well, I've got a bone to pick with you on behalf of Trey. He said I must speak to you. He's not happy that he was cut out of that video, right? So I've got to relay it to you. I can't remember. Ages ago, we did a video in Shoreditch, and I brought down Trey and his friend, and Trey was cut out.
Oh, I remember that. Hey, do you know what? Let me just say this, Trey. I am very sorry that you ended up not making the final cut of the video. We didn't cut you out. That wasn't a purpose.
You trying to call my son ugly? Is that what you're trying to
do? No, come on, never, brother. That's a king. Are you mad? Come on, man. But yeah, man. I'm really sorry about that. I'm super sorry. I hope you enjoyed the song still anyway, and feel free to come to any shoots that kids are allowed to come to.
Yeah, just let us know, man. But listen, Shay, it's been great catching up with you. It's been a while. Good luck and congratulations on all your successes, by the way. But good luck on the release of the album and all that, and we'll catch up.
Yeah, defo. Thank you so much for having me, bro. Appreciate it.
Easy. Take it easy.
Love.